Hey, Mr. Clash here, and today we've got a lot to get through. We've got 5 attacks to get through on this base. Not this base exactly, but close enough to it. Okay, we'll just begin here. And there's some other things that I want to talk about too while we're looking at these 5 attacks. Number 1, firstly, this base, this was a clan. We've been doing some Town Hall 9 only wars just to mix it up a little bit. A little bit of a risk. What with the war matching and everything, there's always that concern that you're going to match Town Hall 10s and there's not a lot you can do about it or something like that. So going to be some dodgy thing or whatever going on with the matching that you can't overcome. And yes, we have had that, and we've still pulled out the win. Now, what I wanted to say about this clan is in their entire war log, they've only lost twice in a 15 versus 15 war. And they were on a really nice win streak, and we came across them. And when I had a look down their bases, this base layout that you see here, they had that layout 5 times. And I thought, oh, I bet, and I've just had a look at their war log, and I'm looking at some of the scores they're getting, and I'm thinking, you know what? I'm looking at the bases that they brought in, and I thought, I bet they don't match too many just all Town Hall 9s. I bet they face a lot of clans that have a whole bunch of Town Hall 8s that just can't deal with what they're bringing to the party, and throw in this base, and their logic is probably this. This base is tough to 3-star, it eats up a lot of attacks, and the more of these we have, the better it is for us. Because if they can't 3-star one base, then they won't be able to 3-star the 5 of them that we're bringing into the war. So it sounds like it's kind of good logic. So as you can look at this attack, you can see hogs have gone flying. There's some more now. They're just flying off all over the place. Queen is still alive, only just held on by a slither, and you notice it's a level 30 queen. So that if it was like a level 25 queen or something like that, she'd probably be down and wouldn't be able to be providing cleanup or anything like that. Now, the whole point of showing you this is this was a fresh hit on the base, and it was the first one to be attacked in the war. So fresh hit, first one, and what that meant for us, and this is why you never do this in war, is it gave us a template with which to attack the other 4 bases if we wanted to attack the other 4 the exact same way. So once we cracked this base straight off the bat, first attack, and it was done. Base was done, first attack. Look, it did go the 3 minutes, it went right down to the wire, so that is something to be taken into consideration. Now we'll just pop over and have a look at the second attack. Okay, we'll just get right into the second one. So as you can see, it's the same base. The walls are different, of course, and but essentially it's the same base, same layout, same queen, archers, cannons, the whole thing. Everything is the same about this base, so you can't really get away from that. And you can see that the attacker is trying to duplicate what was just proven to work. So, hey, we've done it once, it should work the rest of the time. So I'll just speed this up now. And again, you can see, yes, there's a level 30 queen that's involved in this. So Clan Castle's been lured, and it seemed to be pretty well that they were bringing the same Clan Castle for every base. They didn't actually, they just had a lot of bases had the Baby Dragon, 2 Valks and a Wizard in it. A lot of bases did. So on the one hand, it seems like a good idea. We're going to bring up the base that people struggle on, and the more of those we have, that's fantastic. We've seen other clans do it where they must have had 6 or 7 of their Town Hall 9 bases were all ring bases, with a little moat in the middle. And hey, if you struggle to attack those bases, it sounds good. But once you know how to attack a ring moat base, then you've essentially, if you're the defending, you're the other clan, you've given up all your bases. And here you go. It's almost a duplicate attack of the one we just saw. So do it once, just run the same thing on the secondary attacks and so on and so forth. So now we'll have a look at the third attack. And it's it was actually the second attack done. And it's slightly different, so we'll check that one out. Okay, now just before we get into it, have a look at the hero level. Level 10, level 11 king, level 12 queen. It's going to be a penta. Now, bringing in 2 haste instead of the more traditional 2 poison. Now, if you haven't seen the Penta video, I do have a video on doing PentaLoon. I'll put that up in the link now. And the basic thing of the Penta is you're going to be looking for a base that has these kind of spread out air defenses, at least while you're learning until you can get good at it. Now, Penta is one of the top 2 Town Hall 9 attacks to do, to take out max defensive bases if you are a low hero Town Hall 9. So I'll just speed this up a little bit while we wait for the balloon portion to come in there. Okay, so you can see here, you've got the rage spell. The idea is that the balloons are going to take out the defenses. The queen's going to lock onto a hound, and when the hound pops, the raged lava pups are going to take out the queen. Now, as you can see here, they're chasing the queen, chasing the queen, and she's done. Queen's done for. So now it's just a matter of coming in, circling around the base. Now you can see that the attackers' phased archers went and triggered the clan castle, and 2 Valkyries came out. So here you can see that. Do take note of the position of the air sweeper here. It's only just locked on into that angle, so it's up at that angle. Now the interesting thing about this base is there are now 2 ways to attack it. So the first one in the war was the Queen Walk hog attack that you just saw, and the second attack done was this Penta version that you're seeing now. Now that basically gave us, and that this fresh hit basically gave us 2 ways to attack the base as we saw fit. So some people feel a little bit more confident doing ground attacks, some people feel more confident doing air attacks, and some people don't really have a preference. But one of the other things that you will notice to this one is that this one also went down to the wire. Now you can see down at the bottom here, there is a little builder's hut down there. And you notice that the pups did path over to the right hand side. So that's important for the next attack that I want to show you. And then as we get into the next one and then the last attack, there's some other things that I want to say about this. Obviously, number one is don't you ever do this mistake in your own clan wars, and that is bring in multiple bases of the same layout. Because once you've cracked one base, once someone cracks one base and they figure it out, then you've basically handed them the other bases on a silver platter, which is what's happened here. Like I was saying, I was having a look at their war log, and hardly anyone was touching them on their 15 versus 15 wars, and I thought this is probably the reason why. And so when I had a look at this base, I thought, you know, I felt that Penta was probably the more reliable of the 2. I just thought that the hogs were just a little bit tricky in terms of the spring traps. Hit them wrong, you've lost 3 hogs. Hit them right, you lose none, or you only lose 1 hog. And so I didn't really quite like that. And I just thought Penta was the more reliable attack strategy. Now you'll notice here, the archers have phased again and brought the Valkyries over and has taken my queen out. So I'm basically doing the rest of this attack without a queen, just like you saw the first Penta person doing. Now, this air sweeper was in a slightly different position, and that caused a little bit of different pathing from my balloons than the other one did. And of course, I used the haste spell in a slightly differently as well. Now, as you can see here, this Expo has stayed up. Now these Teslas are in the middle, so they're a bit of a bother. Now I did drop my minion at the bottom. Now remember that the builder hut at the bottom stayed up last time. So I brought a minion to lure instead of a balloon, and I thought these lava pups would have pathed over and taken the one on the right hand side. Now of course they didn't. So where the other attacker had a builder hut left at the bottom, I ended up with a builder hut left on the right hand side. So what this essentially has done is it's given us 2 ways to attack this base. Proven ways. One, multiple proven. So you know that the first one wasn't a fluke because you've seen that the same attack has been used on a subsequent base. So we've got 2 Queen Walk hog attacks, and we've got 2 PentaLoon attacks. Now I'm just going to show you the last one now. Yeah, as you can see, they got a little bit. This clan got a little bit dodgy at the bottom, which is why I said I don't think they faced too many full Town Hall 9 wars. Now the thing is with this base, as we'll just run over, you've seen the attack. You're going to see it's exactly the same as what you've already seen before. Lure the clan castle, Queen Walk on the right hand side, bringing in all the hogs that you can see there, clan castle, 3 giants, so on and so forth. So there's nothing new is going on with this attack. This is the same attack that you've just seen previously. The queen's going to walk over to the left hand side, take out the king, take out the queen, Now the walls, the position of the queen is, it's a little bit difficult to get to this queen with the king protecting, and that's why the queen walk was so great. Now you just saw those hogs came in, take out that expo. Hey, get a couple things done while the queen's walking around. Send in a couple of hogs. Now, what's really interesting about this base and what I suggest to do for you to do, there are two ways that you can use this base. Number one is make it, or have your clan mates make the base. And I think it's a really good base to make, specifically so that you can practice on it, because what you're going to be practicing are two attacks. You're going to practice queen walk hog attacks on this base, because it is notoriously hard to get right, because you've seen how the hogs can path. You've seen how there's plenty of spring traps that fling the hogs off. So just watch the hogs go flying as they path through these weapons. There goes a couple of hogs. This is what I'm talking about. You just lose a couple, you lose a couple, you lose a couple, or you lose one. And okay, there goes 3. So all the hogs. He had a good lot of hogs, and where are they now? He had 25 and 6. He had 31 hogs all up, and look at that. He's only got like three or four left. So a lot could have gone wrong with the spring traps. He had to get rid of those hogs. So number one, you can see now he's only got 2 hogs left. So it's so very easy for this base to beat you on a hog attack if something like that goes wrong. So do make the base up so that number one, you can train on this base. Have you and your clanmates, have a few people in the clan make this base so that you can practice queen walk hogs, because it's a brilliant base to try and get it right. It's not easy. So instead of picking a base where it's just really easy to queen walk hog this base and see if you can get it right. We'll just play that again. So that's one aspect to use this base. The other one is you've seen how the base can be done with penta. Now you've seen it pented with the air sweeper this way, and you've seen it pented with the air sweeper pointing towards the town hall. So try it that way. Maybe change the direction of the air sweeper to face both up in the same direction. Something like that. Have a bit of a play with the base, but the idea is that you also will be training on this base as a penta base, because it's not easy to get it right with penta either. And you saw how it was a little bit of luck and timing. Both of the attacks were just going well in right up until the 3-minute mark. So 3 of the attacks went to nearly 3 minutes, and this one and the second queen walk hog attack went for 2 minutes and 34, which is there's not a lot of time left. And when you've only got 26 seconds left, a lot can go wrong, especially when you've got the entire base to cover. So make the base so that you can practice queen walk hogs and so that you can practice penta as well. Also use this, keep this up your sleeve, because if this base is going to start doing the rounds, then you'll want to know how to attack it. Also, try it in your own wars to see if it muddles up the people who attack you on your random spin wars. Don't use it in an arranged war, because arranged people, they watch videos and all sorts of things. But most of the random spin war people that you're going to meet don't watch a lot of videos. And so this sort of thing might stump them. So there's a few uses for the base. You can use it in your own wars. So you've seen how where all the air traps are and where the hog traps are, or the spring traps. You've seen all those. Use it as a training base. So you and some clanmates make this base up and practice your queen walk hogs on it, because it's a tricky base to get right. And also the one base, you don't need to train up a different one. You can also practice PentaLoon on it, because again, it's also a little bit tricky to get right with the PentaLoon. And you can mix up those spells as well if you want to as well. So they are the 3 uses for this base. So that will be it for today's video. So question of the day is this: what did the ocean say when it met the shoreline? Nothing. It just gave a little wave. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Thank you for sticking around. Do leave the video a thumb up. Let me know what you thought. Please don't make this mistake in war of using multiple layouts of the same base. Please don't do that. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.